Hi, Shalom everyone. I'm going to continue this fantastic series of Daf Yomi. Friends, I'm surrounded by olives over here, just doing the Shabbat shopping at the moment in time, recording loads of different selections of Israeli olives, and that's all we're talking all about today's Daf here. We're on Masechet Horayot, Daf Yud Gimel over here, large selections of olives over here. But I've got to be careful with what we eat, because in today's page of the Gemara, in Amud Bet, we learn 5 things which are good for the memory of a person. Now, and it will actually benefit a person. One of them is to eat olive oil. That's one of the things. But one thing also, there's 5 things also listed which is harmful for a person, and that's to eat olives, zaytim respectively. So seemingly there's a difference between the oil of olive and the olive itself. So olive oil itself, the juice of the olive, is very good for the memory. In fact, Rabbi Yochanan is actually going to point out in today's page of the Gemara that if someone has the oil of olives, it can add as much as 70 years to life. But if you're eating the olive itself, this could actually subtract those years of the life in itself. So what's going on, friends, over here? It's good, it's not. Now there's a pasuk we learn, obviously we celebrate on Tu B'Shvat the Shivat Haminim, the 7 different species that Israel is praised for, and obviously one of them is olive. Now what's interesting in the pasuk, which we see when it talks about the 7 species of Israel, where it lists the praising of the individual fruit or the species, the individual quality itself. But when it comes to the olives itself, when the pasuk will actually state it, it actually praises over here. It's going to praise the liquid of the olives over here. So there's differences. So olive oil is good. The olives is okay. So it's not good. So there's differences. So different Mefarshim are going to, let's say, derive different equations with regards to this. So some of the Mefarshim will say it's fantastic to eat the olives itself, but add the olive oil to it. That's one of the things, says, because it's talking about one negates the other, and then you get the happy equilibrium. But then also they say, what is the intention when you're eating the olives? What's your kavanah when you're eating it? Is it have you got the right intention to it? You're doing it in a gluttonous way or not? Or have you got the intention because you're having it in of itself? That's another important factor over there. Another thing is how much of it you eat. If you're eating it every day, then it's potentially going to be a problem if you have the olives every day. That's where the harm is going to come. But if you're having the olive itself on an occasional basis, then maybe there's good qualities. And then there's another question asked over here inside the page of the Gemara, with Mefarshim will deal with. Has it been pickled, these olives? Has spices been added to it? Has salt been added to the olives itself, respectively? That's another important. Maybe it's the raw olive, the olive raw on its own, which is the thing that can be detrimental for the memory, and so on and so forth. So seemingly olive oil by itself is very, very good, but the olives itself, especially potentially when it's raw, it could be problematic. Now there is a word of caution over here we see in Masechet Horayot in page number 35 that also does state the harmful effects of having too much olive oil in of itself, respectively. So one thing I would say is don't abandon olives whatever you do. Definitely olive oil is fantastic when people add it to their salads, to their very different fruits, to get all the health benefits of it. And olives itself, very delicious, and obviously these are all spiced and with lemons and all of that stuff. It's not in its raw form also, so that's another important thing, but very, very interesting. I actually once read a fantastic book called Nature's Well, which is a book on the Rambam, with all different foods, the different teas, the different fruits, vegetables. We'll talk about it in a great amount of detail, what's beneficial, what's not, and it will expand on that, so on and so forth. So very interesting page, 135 of Masechet Horayot. I think on this note, going to wish you all a fantastic Shabbat. Nothing like doing the Shabbat shopping here in Eretz Yisrael, Eretz HaKodesh, at the moment as we come into Parshat Ki Tavo the Shabbat. And it's no coincidence, actually. In this week's Parsha, we actually talk about how the Parshat Ki Tavo, it's the Shalosh Regalim, the 3 pilgrimage festivals, and we talk about how we bring the 7 species itself into Eretz Yisrael, at the time of the Bet HaMikdash on Pesach, Sukkot and Shavuot, and we talk about it as the first fruits in this week's Parsha. So absolutely phenomenal. Wishing you on that note, Shabbat Shalom, take care, enjoy the supermarket in Israel.